Hi, this is my ranking of the live action Batman actors from worst to best. This is an updated list because in previous times I've tried to do this, I did not yet have Robert Pattinson from the Batman 2022. So in this updated, fresh list, he's included as part of the people. And of course, since this is all live action, I'm not going to be talking about Kevin Conroy of Batman the Animated Series. With all that said, easily at worst spot, on the bottom of the barrel, on any year or day, George Clooney. George Clooney is the bad of the bad for that. If it was a darker tone, he could have maybe pulled that off. But for many reasons that we all know already, just to keep this going, George Clooney comes out at the bottom. Right next to George Clooney, who goes a little bit back on the top from that, I'm going to have to go with Robert Pattinson in the most recent The Batman 2022. And it's not because of him being in Twilight, because he's actually really terrific in a bunch of other movies from the late 2010s. But I didn't really see or like his Bruce Wayne, and I just didn't have and the movie was way too long and was slow in some parts, and I just didn't feel him to be higher on this list. So first we got George Clooney always at the bottom, at the last place, then Robert Pattinson. Now comes to the most difficult part of this list, which this is almost the intermediate or middle level here, and that is after first George Clooney at the bottom and then right above him Robert Pattinson, do I want Adam West above Val Kilmer or Val Kilmer above Adam West? And that could change from week to week, month to month, year to year. But at least for the time of this recording, I'm going to have Adam West next after Robert Pattinson. Adam West, it's very nostalgia for anybody who grew up in the 60s to see him in that goofy-like part of the Batman franchise, of the Batman that we get over all these years. And for what it was, yeah, Adam West is going to mean a lot to a lot of people that are older than me. So, but on some days, he would be passed higher than Val Kilmer. But just for the sake of this recording, let's just go and say that it's George Clooney, Robert Pattinson, Adam West, and then Val Kilmer. And then, though like I said, Val Kilmer and Adam West could be slightly different on other thoughts and times of this. So let's talk about Val Kilmer for a bit. I thought he made a really all right kind of Batman and Bruce Wayne. I thought it would have been interesting and nice to see him in a second movie. I thought he did well with what the material was given to him. Granted, even though it still has the worst Two-Face in Tommy Lee Jones, but Two-Face is better in Batman the Animated Series, and for sure better in live action in Nolan's The Dark Knight 2008. And I thought Val Kilmer totally was all right in what he was for it, and could have been more if he had more than one movie. With that said, now we're at, I think my top three now were the main three of the list. After first we got George Clooney always down at the bottom, then Robert Pattinson, then Adam West, and then Val Kilmer. In my third spot, I'm gonna have to give it to Christian Bale. Christian Bale, okay, now his Batman, what I didn't like about him and Nolan and him with this Batman is he always wanted to get out of it. He just wanted to give up. Batman was always Batman for many years in the comics. He never wanted to really give up that. He was Batman no matter what. But in this Nolan version, he's giving up all the time, always want to retire, and Now, and at least I'll give it a plus. Batman Begins, the Gotham City of Batman Begins was really something else. Well, something that engaging. But then in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, Gotham is this like modernized city that doesn't look anything like the Gotham City in the first movie Begins. So, so that's some of my thoughts about Batman Begins. Maybe I'll do some more Batman Begins videos in the future, perhaps. But Christian Bale, he was a good Bruce Wayne. His Batman was all right, and at least he got 3 movies. He got a trilogy. So, for a lot of people, Christian Bale will be their favorite Batman, and I can understand that. But for me, he's not my number 1. So let's jump down because of that then to number 2. For my number 2, next to the first of best Batmans, I'm gonna have to go with Ben Affleck. Who? Ben Affleck. And Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder directed Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman, not versus, Dawn of Justice in 2016. In what? Batman v Superman, not versus. Who directed it? Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, Ben Snyder? What? Now, he was absolutely incredible in the warehouse scene in Batman v Superman. He also was something else in the cameo in S Squad 2016, facing Will Smith, who will have a video with him coming up this summer for Bad Boys 4 discussion and review. And Ben Affleck, I even liked him in The Flash, but all the Batmans in The Flash couldn't save that movie. But Ben Affleck, and it's really a shame we never got a solo Batman movie that would have been called The Batman instead of the Batman we got, which was the Matt Reeves one with Robert Pattinson. He's next to the last on the bottom of this list. And Ben Affleck, I think, really pulls it off in a really choose your adjective type way. Well, it only really leaves one main modern live action guy, and that of course is Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, to me, even though he only played the part twice in the Tim Burton movies, and at least he came back for The Flash, though that didn't really save it at all. And unfortunately, we don't get to see him in a Batman Beyond or a Batgirl for many reasons for those. Michael Keaton, the way you look at his eyes, his eyes in both those movies, and the way that he plays Batman, even though he is a Batman that kills, yes, both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are Batman that kill. And most Batmans kill in some way, shape, or form in all these things with Batman's going on. I've seen real bats outside or at other bat places. So the animal itself does kind of iffy for me, but the fictional character, that's something else outside of reality that I like to get into to escape this wild and crazy world and watch some Batman movies and have all kinds of Batman stuff. But yeah, Michael Keaton, not to get too off track, Michael Keaton is, for me, and always will be, the number 1 top best Batman that we ever got. And I'll tell you another thing about that. In the 2020, just to keep this current, in the 2024 Oscars, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger come up on stage and do this Batman thing. Totally not related at all to their twin movie, which, by the way, they actually got a sequel too called Triplets with Eddie Murphy, but it's not, probably, who knows. And No True Lies 2 as well. But then they show in the audience, when it has Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Keaton in total Batman Bruce Wayne mode, never lost it all these years, in that little Oscar clip. Michael Keaton was, is, and will always will be, in my opinion, the most totally awesome and, wait for it, legendary Batman that we ever got to see on the big silver screen. And he is always, to me, better than, or much more improved, or whatever you want to say for all this. He's the top of the line, high quality material when it comes to Batman, even though there's so many Batman that came after him. This one's going a bit too long, so I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to end it by saying... I'll see you in September for Beetlejuice 2. 36 years later, Beetlejuice 2 is back. Let's Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. 36 years in the making. Everybody dance and have a good time. This is Millennial Man Motions Entertainment, LLC. Signing out.